we've got a comment here from Rodney asking about whether there's a battle for the backup quarterback spot.
It's going to be Emory. And that sigh was me thinking. That sigh wasn't like indicative of his skill for that position and level. I think not Jack Nickel, Luke, the younger brother who plays quarterback, I think he has a bright future. I don't think the future for him is now. I don't think he's a freshman who's going to come in and start. And I mean, with Carson, you're not going to, the bar is so high for relative to where Luke Nickel is. The bar he would have to clear to be better right now for this team than Carson Beck is astronomical. It's just not going to happen. So you're not going to just throw him out there. You're not just going to burn a red shirt when you have one of the 10, arguably 5. I'm more in the 5 to 7, 6 to 8 range on in the country for Carson. But you have a top 10 quarterback in the country. You're not going to waste the youth that you have now when you have that ability. So when you have the Carson in front of him on the roster. So all of that being said, I expect it to be Emory. The only other option I could see is Judd, but I just don't think that he's to that level of player, even though he is big and strong. Former basketball player who's averaging 20 and 10 almost. In high school, like he's a great athlete, strong arm, 6'6", well-built body and everything. I just don't think that he's particularly good at football at this level. So that brings us back to Emory. Is he the franchise? Absolutely not. Is he going into year 3 with multiple game starting experience, been in the system, and developed his skill? Now, again, I'm not saying that it is first-round draft pick, but there has been development for him. And if there were something that happened to Carson for a drive, for a half, we'll say. I don't want it to be so I'm knocking on wood on my desk. But let's pretend that it were. My example from last week, the Sunshine Lawrence game where he had to come in, or where he got knocked out and Chase Bryce had to come in years ago. Remember that one? If something like that were to happen, I'm giving the ball to Emory Williams. I don't necessarily – now, it's going to be a lot of running the ball. It's going to be the ball, playing conservative in the pass game. That ball's going to come out on time, right? There are specific circumstances that he will need to have to be successful. We have a great offensive line. We have an incredible run game. We have a plethora of talented receivers, though few have actually been very productive at this level before. But everything is there for him to plug in and not ruin the season. So I would expect him to be the number 2. Your game operations, you're in and out of the huddle, just like doing all of the things to a B-flat basic, sorry, that's music talk, to a foundational kind of a level. You know what I mean? Just like, I need a quarterback in this huddle, come out of the sideline, call the play, get everybody lined, check with the center and set the protection, get the ball hiked, not fumble it because he hasn't been in any game operations, run the offense and maybe hit a couple of throws. Not asking the world of him, but no team is asking for the world from their backup quarterback anyway. My only thing with that extending out is if through whatever path you want to say, it comes to pass that our number 2 quarterback would have to play extended amount, games, rest of season, whatever it were. Okay. And I'm not talking, again, I don't wish injury or whatever or ill. I'm just saying, if we got to that place where the number 2 quarterback is not, because you're always a play away from being that guy. If Miami gets into that place, I still think it's Emory Williams. I just think everything changes. But just like as a number 2 behind the clear number 1, last year Emory Williams played 12 snaps until the bowl game. You know what I mean? Like in that same kind of a role, I think that it's him. But if that role then becomes expanded, number one, danger Will Robinson, like, or we're in trouble. Like Coral Gables, we got a problem. And then you have to reevaluate things. But like in the guise of like you have a number one quarterback who's going to lead this program and lead this team, and we need another guy behind him, Emory.
So when you say possibly everything changes, does that mean because you go from playoff contender to, okay, let's see if Emory Williams can nurse us through some games, because the rest of the roster and the two deep on both sides of the ball is talented enough to be a top two team in the ACC, possibly with the right game planning and protection of the quarterback, all those things with Emory Williams. Are you talking more if he goes off the rails that they go to Luke Nickel because he's got the brighter future and they just try to give him the reps to be the guy for the future?
I mean, there's a lot of moving parts and pieces. You know what I mean? Like it would take me painting a hypothetical scenario that would make everyone watching and listening very, 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 very angry for how the season is going, to get to the point where, yeah, you're, hey, cool, punt, go to the freshman,